Why are we here in crypto? Well, I'm here for this massive technology shift that will change the world and change many people's financial lives completely for forever. Part of making money during this time is making smart purchases. And even though crypto and blockchain will absolutely change the world and technology, a lot of what we're trading is massively volatile, and people get wrecked in it because they don't understand the patterns. They just come in and think everything will just go up. It doesn't work that way. Now, I often say something, a line that I created, I think it really helps, that I say, buy when it's boring. In other words, when things are slow and nobody's following in because we're at a bottom. And funny enough, people don't FOMO in at the bottom, they FOMO in at the top. And then you sell when your grandma's asking you how to get, a crypto wallet and stuff. That usually is an indicator that massive people are FOMOing in, and that is a really good time to take profits. But deeper than that, charting and learning how to chart can teach you to be more aware of when things are looking likely to break to the upside or to the downside. Well, today, God's Entry is going to join us to teach some basics of charting. God's Entry is hyper-focused his crypto skills on charting and trading and caught the Omi pump way back in 2021, making a fortune just based on charting skills. He just saw what was happening in the charts. At the time, didn't really follow Omi at all. Though I don't think day traders outperform swing traders in crypto. Sometimes they do, but most don't. Swing traders usually make the biggest fortune. And some of the swing traders I know, at least one, is now a billionaire from the past 6 years doing swing trades. However, these skills and understanding charting will really augment your returns by making better entries. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain. If you like money in crypto and you're looking for a seasoned investor take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. You may ask, how do I join the Rainmaker family? Literally subscribing to the channel and watching our videos. Though we have two communities you can join. You can join our Telegram community, and the link is below, and that is free. If you want a more exclusive community, you can join our Patreon, which will give you access to our private Discord. And on our private Discord, that's where we have a Friday session. We do a pre-live stream where we talk and I answer your questions directly. And we have much, much more engagement. Though even our Telegram community is good too. If you just want to check it out, we do kick spammers, bots, and toxic people from our Telegram on a regular basis. So it's a pretty clean environment with great people. All right, now make it rain on that like button, strap in for the show, and let's welcome God's Entry.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, good to have you on. Now, God's Entry, I met you through Doctor of Stuff in the Omi community. You actually caught the Omi pump back in the day and made a killing on Omi. Can you tell us a little bit about your crypto journey and why you got into charting?
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot for asking that question. And I just want to say one thing about what you said. Yes, swing traders make a lot more money than day traders, but you can apply the same techniques to both. It's just understanding the time it takes to play out. So once you start to understand how much time it takes for an entry and an exit and how to chart it, you can set up different trades and become successful. And that's why I was basically trying to help everybody out with showing them charting, because that's where I stepped in and said, you know what, I need to figure this out, because I got wrecked in 2017 because I didn't know how to take my profits.
So you took the ride up in 2017, but also took the ride down because your charting skills were not there yet.
No, not at all. So in 17,
during the bear market, is that when you really kicked off your charting journey?
Well, I tried. I took a few courses in 17, but then when we rode down, I was like, you know what? Let me figure this out, because I want to learn how to make money on the way down as well. So I took many different courses. I didn't really start to excel once I got myself around other traders, because I generally started, I started actually, believe it or not, in Crypto Faces Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there I had a little background, a little foundation, and I took off. I did very well. I was like a high frequency, like scalper. But then I started to learn more and more, and I started to not use so many tools and just use what worked for me. And I had a very good mentor at the time. He kind of refined me in how I looked at things and gave me the confidence that I actually already had. He just showed me I had it, more or less. And yeah, I was pretty lucky by having a pretty good mentor.
Yeah, that absolutely makes a difference, right? So talk to us about the Omi pump that you caught. I remember at the time my community was like, I had a new channel. I only had like 1,000 subscribers at the time. And they're like, oh, check out Omi. And I was like, Omi, I know that. Oh, it Komi. Oh, I know that project. I invested in their pre-sale. Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about it in like a year and a half. And the price was pumping up from, I don't even remember what the floor was, but it was sitting at a 0.25 cents and ran all the way up to 1.4 cents. But at 0.25, I was like, I missed the pump. It might keep going. But boy, did I miss this one, right? I had forgotten about it, and I hadn't seen that their VV app would come up. But you on your charting noticed this, right? So talk to us about that.
There was a couple things that actually got me onto Oni. Let me bring up a chart here real quick. Let's do this. Okay. So I can share this.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, this is on the weekly. So how I got into Omi was, to be quite honest, I got really upset because, believe it or not, I had a lot of engine coin. I don't know if you remember that coin. And I had sold that off kind of at the bottom to fund something else. And I looked how high it went up, and I was like, wow. I basically lost out almost close to $2 million.
Oh, shoot. Komi's not going to show us. I don't even think Coin Market Cap or Coin Gecko would show us because they brought it over from GoChain. So the history doesn't go back to those days. So we won't even be able to recreate that because that history doesn't go back past March of 2021.
Hold on, let me try to find
forward. Yeah, have you found a way to find the historical? Because I haven't.
No, let me see if I can find a different one.
No, I don't think any of them show it.
Hold on a second.
I'd be pleased if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I think that last chart had the most history. Yeah.
Yeah, this one has some of it. What is this? OKX. Okay, at least.
Now let me go back to the other one. I had more.
The other one had more. Yep. So, but even then, it cuts off, right? It doesn't show that pump and that climb all the way to it because they changed the token.
Right. Yeah, you missed this part of it right here.
Yep.
But
yep. So
I'll tell you a story about that.
At that time, you know, it had been during the bear market. It had been like 0.00000. Like you would grow tired saying how many zeros was in there. Cents all the way to 1.4 cents at the top. And people had charting background as things were breaking out. People were looking around for solid breakouts. And so what was it that caught your attention? Because at the time you didn't know anything about Omi, right? You just saw the chart on it.
No, yeah, I just saw the chart on it, but like I'm like what you say, a leverage trader. So I really focus on just trading like ETH and Bitcoin. But then when the bull market came, I decided to buy some, small caps that were, high potential. And because I remember I had Engine, I was like, you know what? Instead of getting upset because I missed out on Engine, let me find the next best thing. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? There's another run. I'll find something. And I think what it was, because when the bull run starts, all these coins start to go in categories. Like you had NFT coins, you had DeFi. And once you see a couple pop off, the rest are going to follow shortly after. And at the time, NFTs coins were popping off. And I think it was Flow and Chili's. They made their run up. So I said, I'm going to find the next NFT coin. Then I found Omi. I was actually started studying it back in February of 01 there, I guess it is.
Yeah, and what was the price in February? It won't show us on the chart. Do you remember what it was when you first saw it?
It wasn't much more than this price right here, to be quite honest. It was
about 0.01 cents, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit below
three zeros there. I say the 0.01 cents, so it cuts out me having to bring up as many zeros.
Right. So I jumped in. I put a little bit of capital just to put it in, and then I actually started to research it. And believe it or not, I researched this coin for 3 days straight, and I was like, "This is a no-brainer."
Yeah, They got the Batman license. They've got the first Batman on the blockchain. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I rode this up here, and I put in as much as, not as much, like about like $40,000-$50,000 I put into here. And I rode this pump all the way up, and I actually sold everything just because of a simple trend line break right here.
Yep.
I sold on this candle when we broke this trend line. Just from starting, I knew anything that goes straight up has to come straight down at some point in time, because
Yep.
it wasn't an organic pump, you know?
And you learned that the hard way through 2017.
Yes.
And so you weren't going to make that
Mistake
again.
again. No. So I sold off here, and as we started running down, I bought in a little bit early around here, and I bought all the way down, all the way down. I kept buying. Then I went big here, and I actually sold everything on this candle. You can't see it, but this candle went all the way to here. I sold everything again. Did very well there, and I started buying back in when I started rounding. I started to see the bottoms rounding, so I bought this whole area, and I sold everything when we started hitting these tops there. We got a triple top, and I just started scaling out every time we went up, saving a little bit in case we did go up, because if we went back up, I could easily just buy when we retest.
Yeah.
Break it. So
Because that's almost always what 80% of the time when it breaks out, it comes back and retests once.
yeah,
And then
at
when you
least,
say it's retesting and it's breaking to the upside, you're like, okay, bye.
yeah, then I'll jump back in. But so I periodically started selling everything out, and I tried to warn everybody, because I was completely out of OMI when we broke this trend line here again. I was out here, and then we broke this. I sold everything off because I kind of felt we were coming back down to where we were. And that's how I called the triple zeros, like back whatever it was, February last year, 22. And that's my story with OMI, you know. And I took all the games and jumped in BV.
So you saw a triple top. So a lot of the audience members, we don't cover charting on my channel except for a little bit, like very basic. What is a triple top? What is a double top?
All right. Well, triple top is basically a bearish reversal pattern. So when the big moves happen in a market, generally it's a double bottom or a double top. And of course, there's other patterns as well. But when we make like macro moves, we don't just do a V shape. You know, we don't just, that's not organic. It's not normal at all. So generally we have a double top and a double bottom. Right here, this would be called a triple top. Oops, here we go. Got one top.
It first did a double top, and then it started retracing, and it came back up looking like it might push higher, but it failed.
Yeah, and that's when I knew
to even get back there up again. And when you saw it breaking below that, you're probably like,
I'm out.
Yeah.
Because the triple top's really, you know, obviously it's stronger than a double top, you know. And once you pay attention to that and you see it enough, you know, you have to go with it. You can't fight it.
Yep. So it's dropped down. Now, right around that time, too, I think the token team, the vesting for the team started happening around that period and other things. And it really broke a lot lower. If you were on the team and you got paid OMI for part of your pay during the bear market,
right,
you had a whole lot of OMI. So some of the team members, not the founders, but some of the team members, they sold that OMI. They made a fortune even at the, 0.7 cents range. And so then the price broke lower and retraced to where we're at today.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to look at the charts where it is today, what would you say about, or what are you seeing in them?
Let me find the other OMI chart. It's like the current one. I'll use this one. It's on OKX. Right now, our worst case scenario, I see us trapped in this range right here. I mean, let me take this off for a second, clean it up. Cool. All right, so really we're in this range right here. If I pull this up, this is the range we're in, accumulation range. So I personally don't think the overall markets, like the traditional markets, are really done yet, finding a bottom. So I'm trying to prepare for worst case scenario, so I'm mentally prepared for it in case it does happen. So this is down here is what they call a yearly pivot. It's based off of Fibonacci, more or less. And I took this range and I just doubled it. And so happens it drops right on this pivot. So
it's yearly.
on the yearly pivot.
That would be amazing. I would love it if Omi came down to that price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to go down there, but I think worst case scenario, that's where we end up.
Well, yeah, because charting doesn't help us see the future. It just helps us identify probabilities.
Correct.
And like the people who count cards and end up winning money at, blackjack, even though the game is rigged against you, when they learn how to count cards, they're able to direct the odds toward them. And that's what investing is. I mean, in charting, that's what it helps us do, identify the probabilities, though
Right.
they're just probabilities. They're not guarantees.
Yeah, nothing is ever 100%, and losing is part of the game. You just got to
Yeah.
make your losses minimal, and identify trends and particular patterns as fast as you can and recognize them.
So if you were to talk to people who are new at charting, what would you teach them some basics, share with them some basics of charting to help them get started on their understanding of reading these charts?
All right, so first off, the reason why I decided to start to help people to learn how to chart was on my journey, I chased indicators and signals, and then I learned how to chart. And it's the backwards. You're supposed to learn how to chart so you don't need your indicators and you don't need signals. So learning how to chart is almost a way to teaching yourself how to fish, more or less. So you got to trust yourself more, is my point. So charting is everything to me.
So at first, when you came into this, you were waiting for somebody else to take your fishing pole, cast it in with bait, and tell you when to jerk on it, right? To try to reel the fish in.
Yeah.
But then you realize then you're relying on somebody else, and they're sometimes right and wrong. So you were going to learn how to read the charts yourself.
Correct.
Right.
So the main thing I use is patterns. Okay. Like, very basic patterns. Let me make a clean chart here. Let me just find a clean chart. Apologize, I don't have this set up yet. Let me just turn this off. There's really basic stuff here. This is you can learn this anywhere. It's just the problem is nobody really knows how to trade it correctly. Everybody's taught to trade these patterns one particular way. And the objective is, I'm trying to get a coin here. That's like this. Boom. There we go. All right. So we'll just mark out some silly patterns that people can see all the time. All right. Let me go here. Okay, so this is a real simple pattern. This is a descending triangle. It's a bearish pattern. So the whole idea is everybody's taught to wait for this breakdown. And then once it breaks, to get into a trade here, or when it retests and it turns back around.
And take what a short on that, right? They're taught that to the downside.
And the problem with that is you're with every other trader in the world that knows how to do this. So you're actually with the rest of the fish. What is what I like to call it. So the idea is to learn how to identify these patterns ahead of time, so you can actually have an entry. Oops. You could catch one of these here. That's where you want to catch this trend line here. So by identifying these patterns ahead of time, you can actually be in a trade where actually the market makers are. Because that's what a lot of people don't need to understand, that the market makers take time to get their positions. So they don't get it in all at once. So they're gradually getting their positions all the way down this line. So you don't want to be with the other traders. This is a last resort, this particular way to trade. It's called breakout trading. So I'm more like a predictive trader, where I try to predict where price is going to go and catch the price. And
you also understand when it breaks against you, so you know to pull out and minimize your losses, right?
Correct.
So let's look at where things currently are with Ethan. What are you seeing?
Or let me just give you one more example, and
okay,
the correct way that I like to teach people to trade, or to chart rather, so they know how to enter a trade. Let me find this. So this is what you just talked about, a double top, right? Okay. So we'll put, oops, let me move there. Okay, this. So we'll say this is support and this is resistance. Okay. So once again, everybody's looking to enter it here in this zone where price breaks down. Like they want to go here and then come bring back up here and get this entry in this box before it breaks down. Once again, that's called breakout trading. The whole idea is to be predictive. So you can see this forming ahead of time. So you can actually enter your short up here. And the way you do that is by practicing drawing out and identifying these patterns all the time. So the recognition, you kind of just subconsciously see it before it happens, more or less. Like this is a last resort. This is breakout trading. This is predictive trading.
But when you're at that second one, you don't know if it's retesting that resistance, and it might break to the upside. So at that point, you're waiting to see what happens, right? And see whether it breaks to the upside or it bounces off that resistance and comes down. When you see that it bounces off and comes down, that's when you're talking about you make your entries.
Correct. Like what, up here?
Just below up there, right? Because you're kind of waiting to see if it breaks through that, because
no, I'm not. Because I'm looking, they're most likely I have drawn support and resistance.
Okay.
Prior. And I'm confident in the lines I draw because, you know, that's why you draw them.
Well, let's go back to the Omi top because it does a perfect double top that we can look at if you pull back the Omi chart. So we can look at something that's real going back there. So
Here?
It does this. No.
Yeah, this is a double top right here.
Yeah. That is the double top.
Okay.
So when you see this double top that actually happened in real life.
Right.
So where would you have made your entry point?
You see this long wick right here?
Yep.
All right. This is really trick that not a lot of traders are going to tell you. But they're going to put their orders where that wick is. And they're going to take their stop. Say they're going to put, say that they enter here, right? They're going to put their stop above that wick.
Yep.
That's how you enter that.
That's
so
what a lot of traders, that's what you would do, or that's what?
That's what I would do.
Okay.
That's what I would do. So what I'm trying to get at is a lot of traders, they're not going to give these tips away, you know, because this, you want to trade these wicks here because the whole time, let's get rid of this for a second. Besides this, you could play this, all this price action right here, like a range. Okay. In this range, you would simply have your orders there, your buy orders, and your sell orders up here. Like you have probably been able to identify the range from here, because you know this is support from this, you know, where we broke here. And after this, you probably could identify this range. So you would have had all these longs you would have caught and all these shorts you would have caught, because you'd be trained. Anything in the middle is no trade. You're waiting for the absolute edge to make your choice. It's like, this is like the inflection point.
I do believe on the edges are way better, even though the little bit of charting that I do has to do with looking at the edges. Now we're the market, that was after the market had gone parabolic, and so you were looking for short opportunities. Now we're in a long retracement period. If you go to present day, what are you looking for to signify for breakouts?
I want to see us get above this. No, we'll raise it up a little bit, like this 001 area. We start to break up here. We'll go back up to, you know, we can make a nice move right here. We start to break and close and hold on.
Because that's made a significant resistance and support area. That 0.1 cent.
Yeah.
And so when you see it breaking over that, then you're starting to look for, you're starting at long entries, right? Or just,
yeah, we'll go like this and you would buy there.
because it will break above it, and then it will usually come back and retest it, and that's where you're looking for entries, specifically on OMI.
Right. You don't want to buy the breakout. I mean, you can. It's a strategy. You can use it. But if we have a long wick there, that I'd rather buy the retest and see this hold for support. I like to see this area flip as support.
All right. Let's take a look over at Gala Games. Gala Games has had a break up that's interesting, break to the upside. They had some big news come out early January,
Right.
and then a little bit of retracement, and they're right at another critical point.
We see something here. Yeah, we broke out of that. Okay. So right now, this is a yearly fib pivot. So I can see us going up here touching this right now. It's the 6 cents area. And that's where we would find out if we're, if we're going to keep going. We'd have to break this area and find this as support again.
So that'll really kind of indicate whether more money is going to come into the gaming space or not, is if it breaks above that, then maybe retest it and then starts to run to the upside.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather see us get above this resistance here and use it for support. Buying this right now, I would not,
That's right in that middle zone you were talking about.
Yeah, like now is not the time. The opportunity, you missed it, so you basically got to be patient and wait for another opportunity. That's the correct way.
Point, because there's a lot of people following into Gala right now. So
yeah, you're not going to miss out. Like that's one thing. Understanding double tops and double bottoms. We generally like this could be like a double bottom, but we didn't get a hard reaction here. Like you could go off of this wick. We didn't just bounce when we got to this area, go up. Like we kind of bled out some more. So I also look for reaction. We don't have a strong reaction from this area like we do now, but not like this.
One of the Doc Club NFT was asking if I bought any Gala. I bought some earlier. I'd have to check my price, but back when it was heading down and getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, I picked some up. Yeah, so I bought it before this run up though. I don't remember exactly what I bought at. So I'm probably positive on it, but I'm not sure how much I'm up, right? Because it pumped what? It went about 2.5x. So
it really matters what your game plan is too. Like if your game plan is a long-term,
yep.
You really shouldn't be worrying about these prices too much.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I worry about it is, has it pumped too much for me to make more entries, right? So a lot of the stuff that I hold is meant to hold for a 3 month to 2 or 3 year timeline. And so this one, I want Gala. I do want to buy some more Gala, but I want to hold it until like everybody's FOMOing in and everybody across the world is talking about Gala and how blockchain gaming is the future. And oh my gosh, it's the most amazing thing ever. And that's when I'm going to be selling like crazy. When grandma's trying to figure out how to get Gala tokens,
right?
That is a bad time to be buying. It is a great time to be selling. So you're looking at ETH.
Yeah, I just brought ETH up
because it's right at a critical decision point.
Correct. So we have this downward sloping trend line, descending trend line. We have massive resistance right where we're at. And we're also in a bearish channel. I wouldn't call it a flag. This is like a channel. And generally we go to the downside at some point because that's all we've been doing the whole way down is making these bear channels and breaking down. Let me go to a lower time frame, 12 hour. So I'm looking to break out right here and see us hold this for support as well before I would ride this up, which we very well could, come up to this level here. We need to make a higher high, like a real higher high, like from this 1650 area for me to be actually bullish on this.
Right. That's a great chart, and we're right at a decision point to see what happens. And if it breaks down, then it's kind of like the groundhog coming out and seeing its shadow or whatever, right? Tells us there's likely more winter. So we're going to find out if there's likely more winter with ETH coming up here.
Yeah, ETH generally leads the market lately, except for today. Bitcoin, everything's bleeding into Bitcoin on the ETH BTC chart. So go to Bitcoin here for a second.
Well, do you mind if we jump over? Cloud Macro wants us. There's a couple of suggestions from viewers. I wanted Cloud Macro. We didn't get to his suggestion the other day. I wanted to see if we could get to a suggestion today and take a look at Injective.
What's the ticker?
INJ, which has been at a really attractive price lately.
No, that's not that chart. We won't do that one.
Yeah. Injective protocol. Yeah, Injective protocol. Okay. There's some history with Coinbase.
All right, it's Coinbase. We made a nice pump here. Nice rounding bottom. So let me see here. It looks pretty strong. Let me turn on. I'm a pivot trader, just so you know. I use pivots. I use fib pivots to trade. That's what I do. Here. We're above the monthly pivot, so that's pretty good. Well, I don't see. I would put. I mean, if I were to trade, that's not financial advice, obviously. I would put orders down here in case we come back down and wait for some sort of retracement. I believe we're going to come back down. Doesn't matter when, but this would be really good support right here.
Now I'm going to pull up some fundamentals on Injective. I made a fortune on Injective a while back, and I took profits on it, made great profits, and haven't bought back in. It's been 18 months since I owned any. So I'm going to share my screen a little bit, share with the audience a little bit of fundamentals. Okay. So market cap 111 million, just updated. Fully diluted market cap 152 million. So most of their supply has come into circulation. So there's not a ton of tokens. There's still a third, but sometimes only 10% or something of tokens will be in circulation and can get dumped on you. So what I like is this nice rounded bottom here. Now, previously it went all the way to like $22. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the full top. I sold off in this period here. Made some amazing money. But yeah, now it's come back to really these really low prices of way back when. Great price. Market cap is, most of the stuff I have is at smaller market caps than this, so I don't have any of that. Yeah, Cloud Macro. Thank you, God's Entry, for going into that one a little bit. There's another pick that I would love it if you would cover. I'm doing a video with them next week called Animal Concerts. Now, one of the challenges is you're not going to find Animal Concerts token on TradingView. Okay. In fact, you can find it on CoinMarketCap, I think. But they're partnering with Metaverse projects they have all the celebrity connections. And in fact, a couple celebrities are like best friends with the founders of this project. So Alicia Keys and some of the other ones, but essentially they've worked in the music and entertainment industry for forever, and they're going to be bringing Metaverse concerts in our actual concerts to the Metaverse, with like having multiple cameras filming them and the 3D stuff filming them, so that they might be giving a live concert, but all these people will be able to say go in through the sandbox or some other Metaverse and be able to participate too. So they're helping take concerts to all these different metaverses that are being created, right? So kind of like how, what are some of the games that have had, I guess, not Roblox, but Minecraft had like a big concert with some celebrity and stuff, which is cool. But in the blockchain, I think as things do go towards metaverses, I think that kind of stuff and functionality only continue, and this company is set up well fundamentally to make something happen, and their market cap is absolutely savaged. So I don't know what their market cap even is at this price. Their fully diluted market cap, if 100% of their tokens were in circulation, is 4.6 million. But this is down the place where OMI was last bear market. Right. Now, I don't know if it'll have a run like this one did. Let's go on log scale. You can see a little bit. But on your screen, if you were to go to, let's see, you've got it there. All right. You know, it doesn't have all your charting tools that you're used to.
Yeah, I feel naked now.
Yeah, right.
So I put this on a 3-month. I like to zoom out, when we're looking at projects. So if I had a tool and I could draw a line from here this draw a trend line from like the bottom here. Whoops. Oh, it does work. So basically draw a trend line from here, rolling up the bottom here. So more or less like this, rolling up here.
Yeah.
I would, if you like this project, I would buy off that trend line. And if we break that trend line, I would just wait for another moment. It's actually that simple.
If it breaks to the downside of that trend line?
Yeah, I would just wait till it finds the bottom again.
Okay.
Now,
Nice. Nice. I do like where the market cap is, and I've been making some entries. I've owned this one for a while and ridden it down, even though I bought cheap, and I've been buying cheap and cheaper and cheaper. And then lately it started going up, actually. Fortunately, right after I made some buys right around here. And and I was like, oh, this is probably just going to keep going down, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging in. And then all of a sudden it went, I'm like, okay, well, shoot, I wanted to come back and get cheaper again.
Well, this one, it is making higher highs and higher lows, so it is trending up.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah.
It is trending up.
Yeah, zoom in there really good so that we can see that pattern. Dang it. Like, you know, sometimes it's reversed. I remember last bear market, right? I was trying to get more engine when it was super cheap and nobody was talking about it and everything. I was like, oh yeah, engine, nobody's talking about it. So I started loading up on it. I made a fortune on engine, even though I sold it like a little bit too early because you know, that's I made a fortune on it.
Well,
sold it too early, but I was trying to load up on it and then it started to take off and I'm like, dang it, I wanted so much more. So sometimes that happens.
Well, one of the best things I learned from, you know, my experience from trading and whatnot, when you buy and sell anything, you have to scale in and scale out. It takes away anxiety and everything else. And then you always have a little piece in case it keeps running.
Yeah,
you know?
Good point.
And you don't feel like you get out. So you should really break your entries and exits into multiple entries, you know, at least 3, multiples of 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I had one more. You're not finished with that? I have one more chart I can show you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at it.
I just want to give everybody, because everybody thinks the dollar, and I'm just trying to prepare people for things, because everybody knows that the dollar has an inverse correlation with the markets. So I was trying to find something that happened in the past that may happen in the future. So this is DXY. So DXY back in February of 2002, we actually topped out at 120. But if we go to the SPY actually came down with the dollar at the same time at the last leg of the market. So at some point, the dollar's going to be going down and everybody might get really excited that, you know, it's time to buy. Well, the last leg of these bear markets, the dollar comes down with the markets. So I just want everybody to know that that's a possibility.
I just typed it in a response. Saul G said, so many people will miss these sales. Everyone around me is giving up on crypto. Now, I was telling him this great point. It happened last bear market too. In fact, you stuck around during the bear market. It's fair to say most of the other people you knew in crypto, they got frustrated and left and missed out on all those great prices.
Well, this is where you're supposed to learn and educate yourself and like analyze what you did wrong and you do better for the next run. Because that's what's so great about crypto. We have 4-year cycles until proven otherwise. You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, and we have some intermittent runs in the middle of those cycles, right? Because like DeFi summer was a full year before the general takeoff. And so it's like, I think that's going to be further exaggerated that Bitcoin will run every 4 years, but some other things will run intermittently throughout the cycle now.
Now, the key is to watch Ethereum. Ethereum will generally pop first, and if Ethereum pops, the altcoins will follow. So you can use Ethereum as your gauge, you know, as your indicator almost sometimes.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Solana. Now, a lot of big names are saying, Solana is so cheap, buy Solana, it's never going to get cheaper. You know, they're going to bounce back and stuff, and their chart is looking very iffy to me.
All right, well, without looking at the chart, I would compare Solana to like EOS. Just being honest, because every cycle there's these great coins, and as you start to see them fade, they just never come back. It's just how it is, you know. And I kind of think that with
Well,
Solana. That's my personal opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right.
The developers, man, they raised billions, probably the largest ICO of all time. Then they're the first ones that the SEC, one of the first ones the SEC went after and said, you did an illegal ICO and you didn't register with us as a security, and you're a security. And they settled with them, though they raised like 2 million or 2 billion, and they paid like some couple $100 million fine and agreed to it. But essentially the SEC said, well, you're a security, and so you can't, you know, and so the team decided, well, they weren't going to continue really working on it, because then that would create expectations of profit that people had in EOS. The team behind it was one of the co-founders of Ethereum. EOS, nothing has happened on it. It's broken, doesn't work. And yet some people said EOS was going to be the biggest third generation blockchain ever. So you're thinking, I guess, when you see Solana going through what it's going through, you're thinking this might be EOS 2.0.
Yeah, I just want to touch it. I'm not interested in it. I mean, from that point, and then here's the main thing. We know FTX had a lot of involvement in Solana. So we don't know how many coins FTX actually holds, and what if they have to liquidate to pay off people in bankruptcy? So that's a variable we don't really know. And
Yep. You don't like to take those kind of guesses when you don't know, which is why I've been cautioning people against Solana. And it's tempting to buy the dip, but like we saw with Luna, like it's not always buy the dip. It's buy the dip on something that we are more certain about the future. And right now, Solana's future is too much in question. I hope it survives. I can't say I have a good feeling on whether it will or not. So that's why I'm not doing anything on it.
Yeah, and we're actually on a bearish channel here, actually. I mean, yeah, we could keep trending up to this $25. This is on the 12-hour, but this is actually a bearish channel.
Yeah.
We can run up to here, but at some point we're going to roll down. I would just not touch it. I
think it's the people that still haven't let go of what they thought Solana would be, that are buying the dip, that have a chance of just getting wrecked. And maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it comes back. But I like to take bets, even though I take risky bets. I bet on something that...
I'd rather bet on Omi.
Yeah. Omi, well, we have a more solid feeling about the future. Like Omi's future in the next 5 years isn't really in question. Solana, a lot of their backing was Alameda Research and a lot of things. And I have a bunch of ecosystem tokens on Solana, so I don't want it to fail.
No, I don't want to fail.
Taking profits out of all my Solana. I left my Solana ecosystem tokens mostly in there, and I'm just leaving them. I hope Solana survives, but would I put fresh money or chase fresh money after that? Not now. And no. Even though I like to buy the dip, I try to buy the dip on something that I have a more solid feeling about its future.
Yeah, well, here, I want to show you.
Bill Gardner says, I mean, sell everything so I can scoop it up.
I have one thing I just want to let everybody know. I mean, I got 2 more charts I can show you. Here's Bitcoin, just so everybody understands what happens to these cycles. If they don't understand, I'm going to help you. These green lines are the halving. Most of the time, the 75% of the gains that you're going to make on a particular coin come after the halving. So you have time to accumulate, because our halving is not until April 24. So, you don't have to panic. Just relax. We got time.
I hope that's the case. It might not be with blockchain gaming. I think blockchain gaming has enough of a future. It can run completely on its own cycle, even if nothing's happening with Bitcoin, and even possibly nothing happening with ETH.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's totally possible. Like, we have outliers in the bear market.
But is Bitcoin going to run now? I don't see the basis for it. Maybe if the US dollar keeps devaluing itself, it kind of runs with gold.
Let me find.
You're right. The big the big gains probably won't happen until in Bitcoin, and therefore possibly some other things might not happen until after the halving again, which I would prefer.
Yeah, well, this Bitcoin chart here, I showed this to everybody the other day. So this is why it's good to understand patterns and some simple charting techniques. This is a descending wedge, which is a bullish pattern, and this is the RSI. This is on the weekly. While we formed bullish divergence, so the RSI is trending up and price is trending down. That's why we're pumping right now. We're not pumping because, we're in a bull run. We're pumping because we formed divergence. And, we could run up to 25,000. That's the target of this pattern. Do I think we'll get there? It's possible, but we have a lot of resistance ahead of us at the current time. So I'd like to see what happens if we get above 25. Then maybe I can flip bullish, but we might just be running up. Oops, let me just get rid of this. We might just be running up here to turn around and come back down to our targets, because my targets are 10.2 to 13.8. That's my buy box I've had for a year. I believe strongly we're going to make it there some way, somehow.
Well, God's Entry, we appreciate you joining us today. I know this is a different medium than you're used to. God's Entry has to leave. He's got a private coaching session with somebody that he's coaching, starting a little bit, that he has to get ready for. So thank you for joining us. And yeah, a lot of your stuff you find on Twitter and Telegram, right? And you post a lot of charts for people, and you've developed a large audience that way.
Oh, yeah. I'm just posting charts. I post it when I see something I think is valuable for everybody to help everybody out, and just keep going from there. And I appreciate you so much for having me on, man.
Where can they find you on Twitter?
At God's Entry. Here.
Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. There we go.
There you go.
Entry.eth.
I'm right there. More welcome. Message me. You can join the Discord if you're interested in learning charts. I'll give you exercises, and I'm just building out some videos right now, some educational content for everybody. It's a process. I just started.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Rain.
All right. Yeah, that was cool of him to join us. YouTube's a new medium for him. His knowledge is fantastic and definitely more in depth than mine on charting. Part of the reason I don't go to charting in depth is because it's not my strength. And so one of the nice things about a YouTube channel allows me to bring people that is their strength in to join us, so that you can learn from more people than just myself. Right. So that's why the other great thing about YouTube is I can have founders and other team members come on and join us, so that not only can I ask them my questions, but you get to ask your questions too. All right, let me check in and see what's going on. Bill Gardner says, glad to see you guys together. The OMI community knows God's Entry really well. So if you're in the OMI community, you probably already know him. And in the charting community, let's see, anything else? Let's jump into our giveaway. So WanChain is a strategic partner of ours, and they give us 500 WAN every month to give away, which helps make this bear market a little more interesting, because the bear markets can get overwhelming, right? They kind of get you depressed, and you're like, oh, this is never going to happen. It will, and it'll be really strong, and you'll be so glad that you stuck around. Just know that this is part of the process, and that most people don't make it. But those that do, they make a fortune. If they dollar cost averaged when things were dirt cheap, and things are dirt cheap. Are they at the bottom? I wish I had that magic crystal ball. I just know a lot of things are somewhere near the bottom. In investing, even in crypto, the bottom feels like that lake that you were swimming in, where you reached down for the bottom and you felt this murky cold. You couldn't quite tell if it was the bottom, but it was near it. That's sometimes what crypto feels like. And you can't tell if you're actually at the bottom, but you feel this murky, muddy substance. Well, we're somewhere around there. Are we at the true bottom? Have we hit that already? I don't know. And I don't have to know. That's one of the things I love about crypto. Cloud Macro is asking, do I like Injective? I do like Injective. And I'm grateful to them too, because they made me a bunch of money back when they were launching. And their fundamentals made sense to me, and it took a really nice run. What launch pads am I looking at? That is a great question. One of my favorites is V-Launch. And the reason is, when I was new in crypto, Crypto would do a lot of fundamental analysis on new altcoins that were launching. He now only covers Bitcoin on his channel. And there's some reasons behind it. Really, he's now a billionaire, and he doesn't need any added exposure by trying to cover altcoins. Because he makes his money through investing, not from his YouTube channel. Even though his YouTube channel has like 500,000 subscribers, what he makes from that is nothing compared to what he makes from his investments. Well, he did create a launch pad called V-Launch with his partner Mo, and there's nobody better in this industry at screening new projects. Nobody that has near the track record he has. And so he runs a launch pad called V-Launch, and I just retweeted a big announcement that they had with their updated roadmap and some new projects coming up there. It's one of my favorites. As far as other launch pads, really, there are so many launch pads that came out, is like overwhelming. So if I'm going to invest in a launch pad, I'm only looking for the ones that I feel like have the best shot. I still really like Engine Starter. I feel like they have enough weight to get the better launches for when the market turns around. V-Launch has a lot of weight. And these other ones, their prices are so hit, they may actually have bigger percentage pops. They're also going to be riskier as to whether they make it and survive that long. So Seedify is a big one. GameFi is also a big one. But I like Engine Starter and V-Launch better, even though both those are also really good, Seedify and GameFi. So it's hard to tell. There's so many of them these days. And who's going to end up having the very best launches come through them? I don't know. And probably when the market goes through another run, a lot of the launch pads, their tokens will do really well. All right, let's see. Let's do our WanChain giveaway. As I was saying about our strategic relationship with WanChain, let's jump into what my question is. Now, to win it, so this giveaway does help the bear market be more interesting because it can get boring. And so part of when we worked out our strategic relationship, I asked them to give us some WAN to give away every month so that we could just spice up this bear market a little bit. And they were happy to do that. So my question is, and the first person that gives the response that shows up on my screen is the winner. My question for you is, WanChain tweeted just 3 or 4 hours ago, and it included a hashtag in that tweet. So in order to get the answer to this, you have to go to WanChain on Twitter. If you haven't already subscribed to them, why not subscribe to them? Because I take almost all my questions from their Twitter. What was that hashtag from that tweet? First person that gives me that answer will be our winner, and they will get 125 WAN. You will need to message me on Telegram your MetaMask address if I don't already have it. All right, Jester's Rune said hashtag NFT. That is a great thing. That is not it, though. That's from their pinned tweet that was actually posted December 31st. I'm looking at their one that came out 4 hours ago. And so that would be under their pinned tweet. So their pinned tweet was made several days ago. In fact, 2 weeks ago now. But they pinned it to the top, so that shows up first. Hashtag metaverse is not it. There's actually 3 on this tweet from 4 hours ago. And so any one of those answers, you will still be our winner. Aha, there we go. Jester's Rune wins with, then it's hashtag connected. All right. right here, WanChain. Why does WanChain connect different blockchain networks? To promote the adoption of blockchain technology by making it easier for users to access a more open and inclusive ecosystem that encourages the development of new interoperable products and services. We are all #connected. So Jester's Room, yeah, just shoot me at, whether it's on Discord or Telegram, shoot me your MetaMask and I will send you your one. Good job, brother. All right. Yeah, bear market's had a little bit of action. It's January. I don't know whether this is going to sustain. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Either way, if it's still a bear market for a year and a half, 2 years, I'm fine with that. If it takes off in the coming months, I'm fine with that too. Either one or either way is exciting because this bear market has led to some really, really good prices. Hopefully you've been taking advantage of it. Maybe it'll last longer and maybe it won't. Like God's Entry said, averaging in is a great way to take out some of the FOMO and to be able to be more relaxed about it. And then when things start going very well, averaging out. All right. Any further questions? Tobias. Oh, Tobias Zink did have it. How did I miss that? Yes. Tobias Zink is our winner. You were too fast, Tobias. My apologies, Jester. Tobias, shoot me your WanChain address, please. That would be great. Thank you, Jester, for bringing that to my attention. He was so fast, I didn't even see it. So, Tobias, I don't think we've ever interacted. So on Telegram, if you haven't already joined our Telegram channel, then you'll find one of my pinned comments or something. So then shoot me a link there. Tell me who you are and yeah, and send me your WanChain address and I will get you taken care of there. All right. Yes, bear market is slow. Just know the good decision made during these pullbacks lead to life-changing ones when the market turns around, and it will. We talked in our Patreon session about blockchain gaming and where it's going to go. You will be surprised. My prediction is that some of these blockchain games will be the biggest intellectual protocol or intellectual property in 10 or 20 years. That some of them might even end up bigger than Pokemon is today. Right. These rains will come again. Those projects that planted their seeds well and nurtured them well will flourish. And those of you who have found them, invested in them, and been patient with those projects, well, your portfolios will do amazing. Thanks so much, everyone. Hope you enjoy the wrap.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit bad before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always made the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Why when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, studying to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this road could soon become a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. Strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Amazing time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I'll follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.